Welcome to the Movement MFG podcast, where the clothing industry is life, and we are talking about just that, the clothing industry and life. Today, we have a quick episode. We've been very busy on the production floor. We actually had something interesting come up today that we wanted to talk about, and that involves fabric consumption and pattern layout. And who other to talk about it than our master cutter of Movement MFG. All right, let's go. Let's get this started. I am joined here today by Thaddeus, or we're going to call him T-Swag, also known as T-Swag. He is our head fabric cutter, and along with a lot of head of other things here at Movement MFG and GTS Clothing. Thaddeus, how we doing today?
Not doing too bad.
Not doing too bad. How's the snow? How you holding up with the snow out there? We're getting killed.
Yeah, well, it actually finally stopped, so it's half as bad as it was. It's still pretty bad out there because the roads are still covered, and my driveway definitely didn't get plowed.
So are you a fan of the snow? Or
I'm a fan of the snow from the outside, but as soon as you get out in it, I'm not a fan.
No good. All right, so today I want to talk about kind of what we had go on today, with some of our production, and that kind of starts with pattern layouts.
Right.
And I want to take kind of everybody through, because I don't know if they'll know exactly what a pattern layout is. So can you take us through, what you're doing on a typical day with those pattern layouts?
So a pattern layout, in a sense, is pretty much just the whole the schematics of everything that we need to cut to create the product.
So all those like pieces, like a puzzle almost.
Yeah, everything from, if you're making a shirt, the cuff to the sleeves to the front to the back, everything is cut on its own and then sewn together throughout the process to create the shirt.
Yeah, so you're like basically, so say like the fabric rolls are typically what, like 60 inches do they come in at?
Yeah.
Something like that, about 60 inches. And so we have 60 inches, we have 6 inches wide that basically then we have to fit all the different pieces.
Right.
And it's almost like a puzzle to put them as close together as possible, but then also that you can cut. So like is it a time-consuming process, or once you get it down, then you get it down?
Yeah, it's time-consuming at first, because if it's a new product that I haven't laid out before, I don't really know exactly what is going to look like in the 60 inches, because like you said, there's only so wide you can go.
Yeah.
So if it's a new pattern, I wouldn't say it's time-consuming, but it takes a little bit longer, just because I don't know exactly how much I can fit within that space, because, some patterns tend to be a little bit wider, some are taller.
Yeah.
So you just gotta kind of.
Yeah, and then also another aspect, and pretty much like, the biggest pain of it is the grain of the fabric, because a lot of the times you can fit certain pieces, going the opposite direction, but it's actually going the opposite way of the grain. So when the product goes together, it's not going to work right. So like, do you run into that a lot with the grains?
Yeah, just because if there's a pattern on the fabric itself, and the pattern needs to be going a certain direction, I can't really lay the templates the other way, because now the pattern's going the totally different direction, and no one really wants a shirt that's got stripes going up it when it should be going across.
Yeah. So it's like the body, the body could have it going one way, but then the sleeve has the stripes going the other way. Yeah, I know. So like, what products you find consume the most amount of fabric?
The most amount of fabric, I would probably say long sleeve shirts, or anything that are going to have multiple layers for, the body wise, like for more like men's products are pretty consuming, just because men are obviously bigger, as when the sizing is, and the 60 inches gets a little bit smaller as you get an extra large on there. You can only fit the 2 body pieces, and now you got to go above that, and now you're getting into.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was gonna kind of like say is that like when you're working with a long sleeve shirt, just picturing 60 inches going across, you can fit, say, the back body of the shirt, then next to it you can fit the front body, and then you have enough room to use one sleeve.
Right.
Okay, and just that layout right there could be $6 worth of fabric.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we have to then butt into the next yard of fabric, which could be another 6, 7, 8, 9. It could only go up, but say we're at $6. You're only using a quarter of that, of that next yard.
Yeah.
And so it leaves, and this is where, kind of like the clothing industry gets a bad rap of like waste, is that, we're using that next yard just for a quarter of it, and the rest of that fabric could potentially, no matter, depending on who your manufacturer, could potentially be wasted.
For sure. And I mean, that's why, ever since I started working here, I've always tried to just save as much room and space as possible because, like you said, it's just going to get thrown right away anyway. So I try to maybe implement a little bit, pull them a little bit closer if I can, pull them just a half inch closer because, like we talked about earlier, like if you're saving a half inch on a shirt and you got 12 shirts to make, you just saved yourself a foot right there.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to, kind of bring up next, which was going to be, the most important thing was why are pattern layouts so important? And really the number one thing to me is that is if you can sit there and lay out patterns correctly in the most efficient way, you're saving money. So and this is what kind of brought this topic up today, is because Thaddeus was out there, T-Swag was out there doing a production run for a client of ours, and he got an idea of changing the way the pattern is laid out, and it saved how many inches for them?
I mean, it saved 3 or 4 inches, but over the course of the full run, I think it ended up being about 3 feet that we saved, which, I mean, in the end, 3 feet's a lot better than 3 inches.
Yeah, so. And if you sit there and you break it down, that it could potentially, be, I forget what that calculation was, but if you sit there and like 2 inches per product that basically you can save, you put that across, say someone who's doing 25, 30, units, you're talking $50, it could be up to like $50, or if you're doing more, it just turns into doing more. And so I think that what's important is that whether no matter who your manufacturer is that someone's looking out for you for that,
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that what starts with the cutters.
Yeah, because I mean, even when it comes to ordering the fabric in and knowing that okay, we have 12 to make of this, we have to get a certain amount of fabric in.
Yeah.
Now if I can go through and save on that, and then we're going to order in less fabric, now we're saving money on our end.
Yep.
And it's also, saving us time because now we know exactly how this is going to fit in there. You put the sleeve down right here and flip the other one right next to it. We can get this as close as possible and save just that little bit.
Yeah.
But now we know to do that throughout all the patterns and anything that we do. Now we're saving every time.
Totally. And that's such behind the scenes type of concept, that I think is not really shown on the front lines. And again, like that comes down to, kind of like the culture within the manufacturing company you're using. And so I would say, and again, really why I really want to sit down and kind of do this podcast, do a quick one, is just to talk about this while it's kind of fresh in our minds, to really say, again, we do that because we really want to have your best intention in mind, where if we can save you $2 per product in fabric, let's do it, because it's only going to be more beneficial to you. But if you're not using us, and you're using other manufacturers, I would just stress, make sure that they have your interest in mind, not just through the design process, but then through the production process.
For sure, yeah. Because I mean, even out on the tables out there, like for our own anything that we do ourselves, like we've marked out specific inches and lengths and whatnot, so we know exactly if we're making a small of this or a medium of that, we got to roll it out to right here.
Yeah,
it's gonna save us just a little bit more.
Totally. All right, I'm keeping T-Swag over time here, so we're gonna go. We're gonna wrap it up. What do you got going the rest of the day?
I actually go get myself a nice haircut.
I'm
gonna go to Georgia this weekend to see my aunt.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right. It's her 80th birthday. So
nice. You gotta get it all spiffed up.
Yeah, give myself a nice little clean cut.
Nice. All right. Well, I thank T-Swag for being here.
Thanks for having me.
He's very, very insightful, and he's very smart and efficient with all this stuff. All right. Tune in next time.